Fun times, fun times. I didn't do it properly. One moment. Sorry, everybody. Oh, goodness. Let's try that again.
You see, we are created in a magnificent vibration, in an absolutely magnificent vibration. Born risk takers. Free. That conditioning takes place after birth. You can change it. It takes guts. It takes goals. How do you know something? You're sitting there watching this and you're thinking, my God, I'm going to change something. I always say, keep reminding yourself that you have tremendous reservoirs of potential within you, and therefore you are quite capable of doing anything you set your mind to. You really can. I don't care what the cynics tell you. Quit listening to some of your peers. Now, all you must do is figure out how you can do it, not whether you can or not. When are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? You've got to create a sense of urgency. I'm going to do it right now.
If you can see it, you can do it. But the beautiful truth is you can do anything. We got to know there is a place. There is a specific frequency. And if you get on that frequency, you're going to attract what you need to you. This is what it's all about. Why have you been endowed with such awesome powers? If you'll make a committed decision, this I'm going to do. And you don't have to know how. You do not have to know how. The second you make the committed decision, you flip your brain onto the frequency that you have to be on to attract what you have to attract to manifest the thing that you want. If you can see it, you can do it. It's got to be something you want. Wants come from inside. Act like you're already there. Walk, talk, speak, live like you're already there. Don't set a small goal. Don't set something that doesn't really wind your stem. Set it so big it jazzes you. It really gets you going. When something of a very high nature resonates with the very high side of you, you'll know it. You'll know it. You will feel it. Feeling is conscious awareness of vibration. The only prerequisite, do you want it? Not do you need it, not could you do it. The only prerequisite is, do you want it? Take the lid off your marvelous mind and dream. For goodness sake, give yourself the right to do that. Get your analytical mind out of the way. Put it in your pocket for a while. All you're doing is exploring, daydreaming. What did Lawrence say? All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their mind waken the day to find that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act their dream with open eyes to make it possible. This I did.
Hi, everybody. We are on a different platform today, which is why it was a little bit of funny business right there in the beginning. I do have another screen over here. I'm just making sure that everything is happening as it should. Yes, it is. Okay. If you're in my Facebook group, you would have seen that there is some things going on in my Facebook group. There's lots of people posting, they're doing their lives, they're I'm putting stuff up there. Other people are commenting. It is a beautiful sight to see. And for all of those that have done lives or sent me recordings to post, amazing job. Because, you know, sometimes Facebook does some funny things. Some days it lets you, some days it doesn't. It's okay. I've actually been shut down. Like, I was in the middle of a training and I said something that maybe they didn't like, or I don't know, I did something or posted too many things and they're just like, nope, freezing you. So it was a mad thing. Like, okay, where are we going to do? Let's transition to Zoom and let's get everybody in Zoom and do it there. You know, this is where I've been telling you, hey, the plan can change, the goal doesn't. The goal was that I was going to deliver 5 days of training back in those days, or maybe it was 3. I was going to deliver 3 days of training, and the plan can change. So that we just shifted, pivot. Okay, we can't do it in Facebook. Let's do it in Zoom. Now we do it in YouTube because they don't shut you down as much as what Facebook does. Facebook can be a little bit of a funny place. Anyway, those of you that have jumped in and done your homework, I bet you feel amazing. And Adrian, I have to commend you for doing 2 lives, because I know how scary it is. I know how scary it is to get one of these telephones and get it all ready and then press live on your first few times. It's a very scary thing. So for those of you that did your first one, amazing job. Congratulations. I bet you feel like you can tackle different things by doing that. And this is where we start to grow confidence. When we take action and do the things that are scary, our confidence grows, our belief in ourselves grows, and we go, actually, it wasn't so bad. And like Lisa put up that video of Alex Hormozi where it looks like an ocean, but it's only this deep. And as soon as you take a step, you're just like, oh, that's not so bad. I thought I was going to sink down to my waist and there was going to be such a hard way to get over there, but I can just walk across. So it is not what you think it is. You make up stories. We are making up stories all the time. I get people texting me their stories. Polly, I can't do this because of this. I'm like, stop telling the story and then maybe you'll be able to do it. And they're like, no, you don't get me. And I'm like, no, you just don't get this. It is very simple. Whatever story you are emotionally involved in, you will create. There is a book by Wayne Dyer, Change Your Story, Change Your Life. Pretty sure that's what it's called. It's in a bag over there that I brought back from Adelaide. Great book. I will just grab it because change your thoughts, change your life. And it's like from the Tao Te Ching that he wrote that from. I had a retreat. It was called Change Your Story, Change Your Life. Your stories are made up. Let's be honest here. Your stories are made up. Your life is a story that you have made up in your head, and you can argue with me. That is fine. The only reason I know that it's true is because I argued for my story. We were sitting down to dinner the other night, and we have a son that lives at home, and he was telling us some stuff that had happened in his life that I wasn't, if I had a choice of what he had gone through, I would not have wanted that. And I started to, I just walked away, and he says, Mum, don't you like hearing these stories? And I'm like, no, actually, I don't. That is not the life that I wanted for you. And so I didn't stay for the rest of the story. I walked away. And then I came back to my husband and I said, am I being the victim in this? And he's like, yeah, you are, Polly. He said, because what his story was telling us was that he was grateful that it went down the way it was, because now today, the person that he is. So like, we're always learning. And I think our kids are the best teachers and the best educators and the best people to help us grow, because they do understand unconditional love and they push us to our limits sometimes. Anyway, my kids have been my biggest teachers and also my biggest champions, I suppose, like people that want to like really encourage me. They're my biggest encouragers. So let's just do the gifts, the prizes that are going out this for doing your live. Now, just because I'm giving prizes to these 5 people doesn't mean you don't do yours. If it takes you 3 days to be able to work up the courage to do it, still do it. Because it's for you, it's not to get a prize. A prize is just a side benefit for it. It's like fresh breath is a side benefit of brushing your teeth and getting rid of plaque. There's a side benefit. That's all the gifts are. Yes, they're great to get and they're a great encouragement, but you're actually doing it for you. So Trudy Muller, Adrian Francis, thanks so much. You did 2, great job. Anne Pedersen, and Anne did hers on her own personal page, which I would like to maybe share into the group if I haven't already. Kim Cairns and Rogan Tanaru. I'm not quite sure how to say that name anyway. I would learn it if I needed to. Now, remember, everybody, you have to send me your email address. You go into the portal. There's an email address in there that you can click on or copy and send me your address. I don't care if you've worked with me for 10 years. I haven't been here for 10 years, but anyway, if you've been working with me for 6 years, if I call your name out, I am not going to go looking for your address. You have to email it. This is part of action taking, hey? Like, a lot of times we don't take the action, which shows us what? We don't have faith. We don't have belief. If we are not taking action, then you're showing what your belief is. Maybe you've got underlying, and you think about it, most of our thoughts and our feelings about ourselves are in our subconscious mind. If you don't send me your address, you've got a self-worth problem. Maybe you don't believe you're worthy of getting it. Like, I didn't really do that much. I just did a live, or I just sent her a video, or I did this. Where other people are just like, yeah, that's so cool. I deserve that. I've done that. Thank you so much. So I want you to think, if I'm not taking action on my goal, then my goal is wishful thinking. Anybody can practice wishful thinking. The reason only 3% get their goal is because of action, and they're not changing this subconscious conditioning. So you've got to ask yourself, am I committed to my goal? Am I committed to change? We can all change. We all have the ability to change. Are you committed to it? If you're just interested, you'll keep doing the things that are easy, that are pleasing. If you're committed, you do the hard things. You do the things that take you like out on this limb all on your own, and you feel like you're by yourself. But guess what? You're not by yourself. We're all here with you. For those of you that have watched Adrian's live, she said it feels so good doing this in a community. Without a community, we feel so alone. Without people there beside us. You know, I was on a cruise this year in the Bahamas in January, February, and I was there with one of my clients, and then one of my coach's daughters was there as well, and they were going swimming. Like, I swim when it's hot. This was quite cool. Anyway, as they're walking down to the beach, both a little scared, they grabbed each other's hand and did it together. And I just thought it was such a beautiful thing to see 2 grown women hold hands and walk in and do it together. And I said, that was so beautiful to watch. And they both said, like, isn't things easier when we do it with somebody else rather than all by ourselves? You have to do this work for yourself. You don't have to do it by yourself, though. We're all here. So the other thing I wanted to really get clear on, like, people, you're probably going to procrastinate. If I leave this information up indefinitely, you probably won't go back and watch it as much as you can. This is why I take it all down on Monday evening at 8 p.m. Monday night. All of this goes away. You won't have access to it. You won't be able to do some of the things that I ask you to do. You'll always have access to Life by Design, but this training, everything goes away. Do not let the idea that I can do this later be something that you get involved with this week. Have that sense of urgency. Like, I need to do this and I need to do this now, and get in and get it done. Watch all of these and watch them again. Like, you've got the weekend, watch them again. Put yourself first. This is your life, and whatever story you keep telling yourself about where you are and what's possible for you is all that is going to be possible. When you have a goal card and you've got what you want written on it, and maybe you've got it a few places around, don't just have it in one thing. Maybe you've got it down your top, maybe you've got it in your pocket, you should have it in your purse, you should have it, if you've got a clear cover on the back of your phone, I'd have it there. Maybe you could have it written on your phone. Whatever. Keep looking where you want to go, not at circumstances. Your circumstances are your past thinking, and you don't know exactly how long things take to manifest. I've had things come in and everything is emotional. Like our emotional mind is what draws more moments in harmony with those emotions. So I had a pretty hard time when I was younger, and I had a not very nice experience when I was at school. And I had a result turn up the other day, and it instantly got me reliving that moment. And I thought, okay, this was created back then. Like this, it's the same emotional impact that it had the potential to give me. And it was only because I did this work that I realized, like, oh, okay, that was created when I was like 14 or 15. So it's taken like over 30 years to get here. And I thought, okay, now, because I've got these intellectual factors, I can reason with it. What do I want to think about this? What do I want it to mean? Because it really means nothing unless I think it does. It's just a blip in time, like a speck of sand in my life. And if I allow it to control me, my days will be controlled by my past. Don't let that be you. So I'd like to introduce you to somebody today. Her name is Vicki Gardner. She has been in my circle for a little few years now, on and off, and she's going to tell you a bit about that story. We've got a lot of things alike, Vicki and I, and we're pretty in tune with each other too. It's quite interesting. There's a few people in my life that I just sort of know when they need something, and I'll text them and they're like, oh my God, I've been waiting to hear from you. And then they know exactly when to contact me too. So let's bring on Vicki. And Vicki is just going to tell us her story. Not just, Vicki is going to tell us a bit of her story, and also help you understand how important community is and how important not doing this alone is. So come on in, Vicki, and I will work on highlighting us both here. Hang on a moment before we start talking. I've got to get this right. It's a bit of a funny thing here. Here we go, maybe. Gallery. Now let's just see if that moves over there. Otherwise, I'll keep playing with it. Anyway, unmute yourself, Vicki. Come on in.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Bit of a funny sound, but we'll see how we go.
Oh, is it? Maybe I can disconnect from my car.
It might be better if you do that. Yep, you're up side by side. This is good. Just keep trying. Let's just see how we go.
Okay. Hang on. I won't be
There
able
is
to
a bit of it.
Yeah.
There is a bit of an
Let me just work that out. 1 second.
Okay. So while Vicki's working that out, I want you to think about, who do you listen to? Have you ever noticed that when you are talking to somebody and you know that their results are not what you want, have you realized that you don't listen to them? You just sort of discard the information that they're giving you. But if you look at their results, you go, actually, they're doing all right for themselves. I think I could listen to this person. They have a bit of authority, and you start to listen. This is an unconscious thing. We don't, unless we've sort of been taught to look for this, and now maybe you'll start to take a bit of notice of it, but start to wonder, who have you been getting direction from? Have they been people that have been where you are and know how to help you get where you want to go? Or, like, you think about it, would you go to your plumber if you had an eyesight problem? would you say, hey, yeah, I've got this thing with my eyes, and your plumber will be like, yeah, well, why don't you try this? And why don't you like, it's just going to be like clutching at straws. It is not going to be information that will help you. So with anything that you do, like I said in Think and Grow Rich, getting specialized knowledge, not just knowledge from other people, getting specialized knowledge will always help you get where you want to go. Are we good, Vic?
How's that? Is that better?
Much better. Okay, hang on now. Let me just get us side by side again. Here we go. There we go. Hello, welcome back.
Hello.
Hello. Well, introduce yourself, Vicky, and how about you tell us what life was sort of like before you came to one of my trainings or heard about what I did or anything.
Yep. Okay. So for those of you that don't know me, my name's Vicky. I have worked with and for Polly on and off since around about 2021. Yep. I am a mum to 3 incredible young men. Wow, they make me so emotional. My eldest is 21 and my youngest is 10. My older 2 boys are from my first probably serious relationship, and my youngest is from my second. I think, like, outside of being a mum, I love playing tennis and pickleball, planning spontaneous weekends away. I love reading. I love personal development, which I didn't know that prior to 2021. I like writing. Yeah, I've been known to write a few poems in my time. And this year I've decided that I'm going to follow in my children's cricketing footsteps and join the women's cricket team for the upcoming season.
Done. Good.
Yes, I'm very excited.
So let's go back to 2021 then. What was life?
Well, I was going to, for maybe a little bit of context, go back 10 years ago.
Okay.
So 10 years ago, I had just given birth to my youngest son, Sonny. I was in a domestic violence relationship. My life was very sheltered at that time, and I didn't really realize that that is what had ended up happening. What I knew was that I was unhappy. I was afraid. I was scared. I was isolated. And I had, prior to giving birth to Sonny, tried to make the decision to leave that situation on several occasions, but fear had stopped me. Fast forward a year later, I finally made the decision. Sonny was 1. I made the decision to leave that relationship. And it was one of the most scariest things that I think I have ever done. And Polly talks a lot about being an unconscious competent. And I didn't know what that was until I started working with her. And that's exactly what I was and have been probably for a lot of my life. So once I made that decision that that relationship needed to end for my own safety and my children's well-being, I just threw myself into work, and I unconsciously set a goal of becoming the manager of the department that I was working in. Probably 2.5 to 3 years later, I was the coordinator. And then actually, other part of my goal was to be one of the highest paid females in the organisation. 2.5 years later, I became the coordinator, and then probably 6 months later, I became the manager of the department and the second highest paid female in the organisation. And I guess this is where not having the benefit of working with Polly comes into place, because I'd set that great big exciting goal. And once I got there, I had no idea what to do then after that. So I floundered around for a bit and was kind of looking for my next challenge. And then when I sort of focused in on my heart, I knew that I needed to move back to Ingham to my older two children for my youngest to be able to start school. I wanted us all to be back together as a family. And that was another really scary decision that I made, because I was leaving my family support system, and I had no idea how I was going to do it. And anyway, I did that. And it wasn't long after I made that decision that I came across Polly and Polly's trainings. So I think the first free training that I participated in, I was like, oh man, this is exactly what I need. I did think it was a little bit woo-woo to start off with, but in that very first free training that I attended, I used and applied what I had learnt to quit smoking. So I knew if I could just do that from, and I think it was only a 4-day training back then, if I could just do that from 4 days worth of training, imagine what could happen if I actually started working with Polly. So then I had a call with Polly. And it was a fantastic chat. We had I felt like she got me. She challenged me on a few things, which I'm a bit of a stubborn-headed Taurus. And I didn't particularly enjoy that. However, I could see that Polly knew what she was talking about. And I was very, very curious about the program that she was running. And anyways, we get to the end of the phone call and Polly starts talking about the investment that's required to work and do thinking into results. And she told me, and I just went quiet. The wall went completely straight up and I was like, yeah, righto. I said, well, I don't have the money. And Polly said, well, if you want to do it, then the money will turn up. And I kind of must have even laughed like that, because I was like, oh my God, this woman is delusional. she can say that because she's been hit up the ass with a rainbow. And, she's not connected with what it's like for the rest of us. And I went, yep, righto, no worries, Polly, yep, too easy. And that was kind of how the conversation ended. And then I did another one of the trainings because I was sitting there and I was very, very curious, and I was seeing results from all the people that were in the group, and I had some personal connections with some people, and I knew how much working with Polly had changed their life. So in my head, I had already decided that that's what I was doing. Now, part of this second training was there was a cash prize associated with one of the days. And I had done none of the work. I've done the work privately, but I'd not posted any of it publicly. My self-image at the time did not allow me to do that. But that morning, I woke up and I thought, you're going to win that money. All you have to do is post your stuff and you're going to win it. And then after that, I backed that up with an action and I texted Polly and I said, hey, Polly, just letting you know, when I win that money, can you put it down as a deposit for thinking into results, please? And she's like, yep, no worries. And then at the end of the training, my name was randomly drawn out to be the winner of the money.
And it was random, hey, because back in those days, everybody had a number
Yep.
and I would talk into my phone and it was random. So I didn't choose you.
Nope, not at all. So that, I think, was probably the catalyst for my belief that this could happen for me. And don't get me wrong, the rest of the amount of money was way more than I could have fathomed on spending on myself for something like this. But once I decided, it wasn't that.
And it didn't just come from one place. I think it came
No,
from like 4 or 5 places.
it came from, probably 4 or 5 different sources. Some completely unexpected, some where, I had to take some action and it all literally just fell into place and I told you nothing about what I was doing in the background. And I think maybe 6 weeks later, I messaged you and said, I'm ready to start thinking into results. And Polly said to me, okay, cool. Would you like to do a payment plan? And I said, nope, thank you. I'm paying the amount in full. And that's exactly what I did. I do have lots and lots of notes here because I have lots and lots of things that I have achieved while we've been working together.
So let's just rattle a few of those off. What have you achieved and what's changed?
So I guess for me, what I have achieved is little things like manifesting a whippersnipper for nothing, manifesting my perfect partner. I have completely, I guess, I don't know, I like to call it rebranded myself on several occasions. I have almost tripled my income, and this is because I went away from the work for a little while and then I've come back, and I come back because I know that there's a community there that's welcoming and supportive. And I know that Polly always holds space for me. Anyways, so a year ago, I think I was back in a really shitty situation. We had just experienced catastrophic flooding across our region, and I had, for probably the 4th time in my lifetime, lost what I felt like, well, the other 3 times I had literally lost everything and had to rebuild. And the flood, I lost my vehicle, I lost all my children's school photos, memories, their books. Camping stuff, a camper van, a buggy, like lots and lots of stuff. And it is just stuff. However, that had sort of, that really set me back. And I didn't realize that I had let go of a lot of things that I had learnt. And I'd found myself back in a situation that I didn't like. So I was earning probably $50,000 a year. We just had this catastrophic flood event. I didn't have insurance on my vehicle, which was new and still paying off, all those kinds of things. And it was in that time that I reached out to Polly again. And there's just something about a conversation with Polly that kind of fixes things, puts stuff into perspective. And helps you understand where you are potentially playing the victim, where you don't have, when you're surviving, you're inside yourself and you don't have the ability to see even the littlest thing that you can do to help
Yeah.
get yourself out. So where am I? So anyway, that was only just a year ago. At the moment, I am earning very close to triple that amount of money. I had set myself a goal only in November last year to take my children on a cruise for my eldest son's 21st birthday. Now, this is something that I have dreamt about probably since I started having children, to be able to take them on do something monumental
A luxury holiday.
for them.
Yeah.
For their 21st birthdays. And I guess the talk in my head up until November was still that was beyond me. And anyway, whatever the reason, in November I decided that, no, you're just making up excuses in your head. If you really want to do this, you know that you can do it. And I did. And there's lots of those moments in this story of I decided and I did.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know, like I think, I don't know, when I think about earning triple the amount of money that I was earning last year, like no one rescued me. I didn't get lucky. Like none of those things happened. Like it happened because I changed.
Yeah.
And I changed the way that I think about things, and I applied and put into action the stuff that I've learned. And it's that simple. It really is. I think I'm getting really hot because I'm so emotional. I don't know whether I've talked about my story. I know I've talked about it on one of our team meetings about the story leading up to me going on the cruise with the boys. So basically, once I decided that that's what I was going to do, at the time, I didn't have money lying around to be able to book a cruise. But anyway, I made a phone call and the lady said to me, oh, we've got one room available, sleeps two. I said, well, that's not going to work for me because I have 4 people that need to come on this cruise. And she said, oh, well, maybe you just book for 2 and then see what happens. And I thought, well, it's hard. We can't go on a family holiday if only 2 of us are going. So I said she said, oh, well, you know, you have 2 options. You can like wait until after February or whatever to see if something comes available, or you can book this room today and then see in February if something comes available. And I went, oh, that's not really what I want. So doubt definitely did creep in for a moment then. And then I just said to her, you know what, I will book that room. And before this phone call finishes, you are going to let me know that there's another one available for my 2 sons, my other 2 sons. And she sort of laughed at me and she said, oh, look, it's fully booked. That's not going to happen. And I said, okay, no worries. So I paid the deposit, with her, and we were just about ready to wrap up the phone call, and she screamed into the phone. Like, she squealed. She was like, "Oh my God." And I went, "What? What's the matter?" She said, "I don't know what you've done, but a room has just come available." And I thought to myself, shit, I don't have the money to pay the deposit on that one. But anyway, I said, okay, cool. Let's do it. And it's just those little moments of confirmation where you make a decision and then something little happens, like the $1,000 that I won, or, you know, the room becoming available, because I was sitting there in solid belief
Yep. No doubt.
that's-
Absolute faith.
that's what was going to happen. And, you know, that kind of belief comes from a burning desire. Like, you feel it. You feel it in your heart. It's, yeah, you just know.
Yep.
And then after that, I think came the scary part for me. Was booking a deposit is one thing. Paying a deposit is one thing. I'd paid a deposit on a cruise before and then got scared shitless and backed out of it. So I had that belief then to overcome in my head. I had a number of conditionings from the past that were telling me that I'm no good with money, that I am going to F up the bookings, and, you know, all these kinds of things that I was dealing with. And they're things that I'd never done before, because overseas travel for my family is not a thing. It's not something that our family has done. It's like barely gone outside of Queensland, and most times not even on an aeroplane. So
Yeah.
it was brand new stuff to me. So yes, anyways, I had without knowing, I thought to myself after I'd paid the deposit, well, okay, what now? What do I do now? Where am I going to come up with these other thousands and thousands of dollars for flights and accommodation and passports and all that kind of stuff? And then just in every single day of writing and picturing and visualizing myself and my children getting on that boat and being on that boat, it all just worked out.
And let's be honest here, it didn't just come flying out of the sky. You were presented with opportunities that you had to take action on.
Yes, I was. I definitely was. There was lots and lots of different things that decision brings. And I think that's a key part of having a goal, because without having a goal, you will miss those things as
A way forward.
as ways to achieve. And I guess without having a goal, you'll also not know what you need to sacrifice in order to make it happen. So yes, there's lots and lots of little things that brought that picture all together. And I still sit here now and I'm in complete disbelief that I was able to make that happen.
And you did it, hey?
Yeah,
Isn't that the coolest thing, that you did it?
I did do it.
What would you say to the Vicky 2 years ago that wasn't in that place? What would you say now? Like today, with knowing what you know now, back then, or sitting on the fence like, oh, do I ring Polly and ask if I can come back? Can I?
I think the version of me from 2 years ago would never have set herself a goal like that. The version of me from 2 years ago, I guess,
What would you say to her?
what would I say? I do have some things written down here. Sorry. Okay, so I guess what I would do and say is I would sit with her and I would hold her hand. And I would tell her that your current circumstances are not your final destination. You're not broken and you're not behind. You are far more powerful than you realise. I would tell her that one decision can change everything. Not overnight, not magically, but one brave decision can begin a completely different trajectory in your life. And if I could say anything to someone who is currently where I once was, it would be this. You do not need to have all the answers before you begin. You just need to decide that you are available for more.
Oh, nice.
Because once you truly decide, your mind starts looking for solutions instead of reasons why you can't. And that's what I did. I decided. Then I backed my decisions with actions. Again and again and again. And it's not always perfect action. It's imperfect action. And I don't always get things right, and none of us do. But it was in that phone call, I think, with Polly about a year ago, where she said to me, sometimes we make decisions and the result of those decisions shows us things that we don't want, and we get clearer on those things. And it brings back to light the things that we do want, the type of experiences we want to have, the type of people we want to have around us, the type of life we want to live, the type of person we want to be. So, yeah, even when I was scared, even when there was no evidence of any of these things working out, even when I didn't know how it would happen, I took action, and it's changed my life completely.
And now there's no stopping you, hey? Because you don't need to know how to do anything. Now you can go on to bigger and even better and bigger things.
Yes, they're coming. I'm not quite prepared to share it publicly yet, but I have set myself an absolutely ginormous personal goal.
Good.
It scares the absolute pants off me, and it's a total rebrand of who I am, was, ever thought
Possible.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Anything that you want to add before we say?
I just want to say that being part of, Polly has changed my life. I think that's evident. But being part of the community that she has created has also had an incredible impact on me. I think prior to working with Polly, I didn't know that such a community existed where people, you know, praised each other, celebrated each other's victories, and stood beside each other through tough times and helped guide and advise and coach you through it. Like it's more than, it's a family. We have such a beautiful community. And I think without that, it's very, very difficult to do these things, because working on yourself is tricky. It's hard.
And
You
it's
s-
messy.
It is so, so messy, but it's the most beautiful, messy thing ever. It really is.
Thank you, Vicky. And
Anyway,
everybody,
I waffled a whole lot and
that's
cried
enough.
and
Don't
carried
go
on.
further. That's enough. Thank you so much for being here. And I think everybody in the chat will be having something to say to you as well. So thank you. You're doing amazing, and just keep going.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot.
You're
And
very
I believe it.
yeah. Good. All right. Thanks, Vicky. Enjoy the rest of your day at work.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye. See ya. Hey, everybody. So what I want you to think about today is you've been given in the portal a link to book a call. Now, I'll be honest with you, I'm only one person, so I can't talk to all of you. So it is a first in, first serve basis. When you do book a call, this is what's going to happen. We're going to find out where you are right now. And we're going to find out I'm going to help you find out, or you're going to tell me what you really want. Then the most crucial part is I'm going to help you uncover or understand what is keeping you stuck. It is not anything out there. It's all internal. It's all about your thinking. That is the only thing keeping you stuck. And I'll be honest, those of you that are ready to take responsibility for where your life is right now, and you're ready to not blame others, and you're ready to own your life and change, they're the people that I'm going to offer to come in and work with me. Not everybody is going to be offered that. I have some calls sometimes with people and they just live in the past and blame. I don't bring them in. I don't even ask them to come in. I just tell them, okay, you know what? You're going to have to take responsibility for that if you want anything to change, because as long as we are blaming others, we have no ability to change. As long as we are not taking responsibility for where we are right now. Now, and I want you to understand this. You may not have built your paradigm. You may not have written the code and the program, and it could be a virus code for all we know that you're working on. Probably is. I think we've all got a bit of virus code in us, giving us things that we don't want. But until you're ready to say, okay, from this moment on, it's all on me, then there is no ability to change. Responsibility is the key to any change. And just looking at things without being emotionally involved and like, I must be doing something wrong or something like that. No, it's just like, okay, it is what it is. What do I want? They're the people that I'm going to ask to come in and maybe join us. Now, not all of you will. Not all of you will say yes. Some of you will, the price will scare the pants off you. And you may think that I'm delusional. I know you can do it. I know you can do anything. Absolutely anything. I really do believe in you. But I want you to think about this. I'm going to read you a story out of U Squared. Now, this book was written by Price Pritchett. This is one of the books that I send out to all my clients. It's a really, really great book. And I want to read you this story, and I want to see if you can relate to this story. It's about a fly. Okay, I'm sitting in a quiet room at the Millcroft Inn, and this fly is called Polly. I just want you to know that this fly is Polly, and maybe you can see some similarities in you. I'm sitting in a quiet room at the Millcroft Inn, a peaceful little place hidden back amongst the pine trees about an hour out of Toronto. It's just past noon, late July, and I'm listening to the desperate sounds of a life or death struggle going on a few feet away. There's a small fly burning out the last of its short life energies in a futile attempt to fly through the glass window pane. The whining wing tells a poignant story of the fly's strategy. Try harder, but it's not working. The frenzied effort offers no hope for survival. Ironically, the struggle is part of the trap. It is impossible for the fly to try hard enough to succeed at breaking through the glass. Nevertheless, this little insect has staked its life on reaching its goal through raw effort and determination. The fly is doomed. It will die there on the windowsill. Across the room, 10 steps away, the door is open. 10 seconds of flying time and this small creature could reach the outside world it seeks. With only a fraction of the effort now being wasted, it could be free of the self-imposed trap. The breakthrough possibility is there. It would be so easy. Why doesn't the fly try a different approach? Something dramatically different. How did it get so locked in to one idea that this particular route and determined effort offer the most promise for success? What logic is there in continuing until death to seek a breakthrough with more of the same? No doubt this approach makes sense to the fly. Regrettably, it's an idea that will kill. Trying harder isn't necessarily the solution to achieving more. It may not offer any real promise for getting what you want out of life. Sometimes, in fact, it's a big part of the problem. If you stake your hopes for a breakthrough on trying harder than ever, you may kill your chances for success. Now, Price Pritchett helps people with quantum leaps. You transforming your life is a quantum leap. You cannot do more of the same and expect to have a completely different life. So if you're sitting on the fence, book your call. And I know how scary this can be to talk to me like I'm practically a complete stranger, to talk to me and tell me what your life's like, what's happening in your life right now, and then to be vulnerable enough to tell me where you want to go. Because, you know, I had dreams too. And I told people what I wanted, and they ridiculed me. My husband even said to me with one of my goals, like, what the hell? All they care about is themselves. All he was worried about was, what does that mean for me? If you go after that, Polly, what does that mean for me? I had to learn to stop telling him. So the people around you are going to be in harmony with who you are right now. They're not going to support you to change, because what does that mean for them? Like I said, I've got 15 spots to have a call, and I don't open these calls up outside of these trainings. You can't ring me in 2 weeks and say, Polly, I'm ready for that call now. I'll be like, no, I'm sorry. I do calls in these specified times. So I open up my calendar. If you are sitting there thinking, man, I really want my life to change, book your call. Go into the portal, book your call, find a time. If like you're in a different time zone to me, a way different one, you're like, Polly, I just need a different time. You know where I am. You've got me in WhatsApp. You've got my email address. You know how to find me. Action is the only way that you're going to get what you want. Can you have absolute faith in who you are and your ability? Can you believe that you can do it? Can you grasp the Like, I got a pretty big goal, and I've got to work out who I am. Like Vicky just said, it's a whole rebranding process. I was just sitting here with it this morning as I was writing, and I'm like thinking, what does that actually mean? What conversations would I not have? What thinking would I not have at this goal? What wouldn't I put up with from myself? That's a big one. Like, what would we not put up with from ourselves? What sort of behavior are you doing to keep you where you are that you're like, that's just going to have to go? But if I drum my doll back down, I don't have to change anything. I can keep doing what I'm doing, which is what most people do. When I turned 40 was one of the biggest turning points of my life. I sort of looked at my life and went, whoa, man, life is sort of maybe half over if I live till I'm 80. What have I done with it? If it took me this long to get to here, I'm not going to be very far along by the time I'm 80. And I thought, I need to get a fire under me. All right, so I went and got myself a coach. I was, what was I, 43? So I would have been 41 when I got a coach, because I was going to bed at night feeling like I was stuck. And I was like, other things were defining what I couldn't do. And I don't like people or things telling me what I'm capable of and what I can and can't do. I like to be spontaneous sometimes, like, I'm going to go do this, I'm going to do this. And I was at this stage where I was asking permission all the time, and I thought, my God, this does not feel good. So when we're in that place, sometimes we get angry, sometimes we drink a bit. I did the drinking thing and the anger thing. And I could see myself turning into the way I grew up, which is not what I wanted for my kids. So my coach at the time said, why should you change? Why would you change, Polly? And I was like, well, and I didn't want to tell her the things that I got up to. I didn't want to say some of the arguments that I had with my kid, and that sometimes one of my kids would pack their bags and I'd have to go and search for them and stuff because they'd run away from home. And I didn't want to say that most nights I could drink a bottle or two of wine on the couch and fall asleep there and then drag myself to work the next day and only do like maybe 40%. I was embarrassed. So I had to do this exercise. And it's like, why should I change? First of all, I didn't believe I was responsible. I was blaming. I was a victim. I was not responsible for this. I was only responsible for the good things. But I also didn't believe that I could have the life that I have now. I didn't believe that I could travel the way that I travel now. I didn't believe that I could take my family on holidays the way that I do. I didn't believe that I could do this without asking permission. It was a huge one for me. So when I sat down, I thought, well, why should I change? What would happen if nothing changed? Where would I be? Where would I be 40 years from now? Where will I be 10 years from now? Where will I be a year from now? And I was at a place that if I stayed, my kids would hate me because I wasn't the nicest mum. That my kids wouldn't trust me because they would tell me things in secret or in confidence, and I would tell other people, or I would ridicule them. Now, this was all unconscious. This is the way that I was brought up. So but I had to take responsibility. This is who I had become. Because I didn't remember a lot about my life. There's years, I think, that I don't remember because of drinking and of just not wanting to be that person, having arguments and bringing up 10 years ago in the past when I had an argument with my husband and stuff. It just, I was not happy. I have to change because I don't want to keep going to bed at night hating myself. Because I made a promise I wouldn't get divorced, but that's where I'm headed. when I read my father-in-law's eulogy, I got really scared that my life would be nothing at the end. There'd be no legacy. There'd be nothing left behind. Nobody would care. It's just like, oh, Polly, that's that girl. Yeah, righto. She's gone. Oh, sad. One of the biggest was I became things that I never wanted to be, because I have to ask other people's opinions of what I should do. So I have somebody to blame if things don't go good. Because if I don't change, what am I telling my kids? That change is impossible? That they're not worth it? That their dad isn't worth it? Because I can't keep going on the way that I am. I'm so sick of feeling second rate, that I'm not worth spending the time on, that I'm not worth spending the money on. I'm sick of tired of thinking I'm doing something wrong because I can see others doing so much better. Why can't I have that? Like, oh, I used to get so angry at that. I'm scared that this is all there is. That this is the best that it'll get. And maybe I'll give up trying. What if I end up on my own? What if the way I really want to live is just a dream? And it's not for me, it's for others. Because let's be honest, Polly, you only went to grade 10. You're not smart enough. The biggest thing I wanted was my kids to be my friends. To be able to help them. To be able to welcome them back in home if they needed a place to, and that they actually wanted to come. Not like, I'm not going back home, no way in hell am I going to spend any time there. When we want a different life, we can have whatever we want. And that is not just me selling you an idea. You can have whatever you want. It has to come from your heart. It has to mean more to you. And it's not just about physical things. It's about you going to sleep at night. It's about you loving yourself, looking in the mirror each day and loving on you, no matter what state you're in. It's about wanting to help others as well. Like, there's a lesson in Thinking to Results called The Impression of Increase. Shay reminded me of that this morning. That when we give others something that uplifts them, we feel better. And that's one of the best things that we love to do. This is why I love being a coach, because I can help so many more people than I can in a steel business or as a chef. And that's my I call it a psychic income. That's the income that recharges my spirit, is helping people see themselves differently. So if anything from this week has stuck out at you and you're like, yeah, I just want to have that conversation and just see where I'm stuck, book your call. It doesn't cost you anything. It'll cost you an hour of your time. And I'll only invite you into our fold if I believe you're ready for change and ready to take responsibility. Some of you will not be. And it's got nothing to do with money. You don't need to have the money. Like, you don't even have to have the money if you decide to come and work with us. That's not a thing. It's about you and you living the life that you want. And getting to see that it's not hard. It's just a few shifts, a few different ways of thinking about things and thinking about people, and understanding that your goal is a place. And the other thing I want you to think about too, and I know this, that there's so much fucking bullshit out there at the moment. There is so much bullshit in the online space and in the coaching space that sometimes I'm thinking that it's like I'd like to call myself a different name. But there is a lot of bullshit. You cannot just meditate and sit on the couch and expect things to change, because action is what creates change. So if anybody tries to tell you that you can just meditate, write, and everything will change, I am going to call bullshit. Because without you acting differently, without you taking different actions, nothing will change. Action is the key. Every day this week, I've asked you to take action, so that you get to understand that the action creates a different set of results in your life, that the action it grows you belief. You think about it, a little baby starts to walk and it holds itself up on the couch and then it falls down. Does it say, fuck it, that's it, I'm not walking, I'm just going to sit here for the rest of my life, I'm just going to sit here? No, it persists. But what does a mum and dad do? Come on, you can do it, up you get, up you get, come on, you can do it. They coach them. You know, I was going down the river on Sunday for Mother's Day, and my youngest sister, she had a couple of kids in the back of the car all by herself. Her hubby was working, and we were coming down. She's rung, she says, you need to coach me through this pole. I'm like, okay, righto, you can do this now. Just take this slow and do this and do that and go this way. And she's asking questions. She said, I wouldn't have been able to do it if you weren't on the other end of the phone just helping me through this. That's what coaching is, helping you through it all. You don't have to do it alone. So if that's something that resonates with you, let us know. If you have not read the decision article, get in and read it. Decisions create your life. Decisions change your life. Understand you're one decision away. You really are just one decision away. The decision that I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to make my goal happen. I'm not going to sit here and just let life pass me by. I am deciding I'm going to go after it. I'm going to do it. That's it. Period. I'm done. I'm doing this. Your goal is worth you deciding that. Congratulations, those of you that already booked calls. Well done. Well done. I know it's a big step. It's a huge step. Who is this Polly chick anyway? Oh, you can go and watch video on me. Tells you. The most important things in your life are knowing where you are, knowing where you want to go, and making the decision that you're going to go there. Tomorrow, we talk about money. Tomorrow, we learn maybe a few different things. Money is not all it's cracked up to be. It is not what we've been taught. Yes, you can do some things with it, but you can do other things with it too. You know, money you can make into origami if you want to, or you can use it to buy a shirt, or you can squirrel it away and hide it somewhere. But money is a reflection of you and your self-image. So if you want more money, guess what? You've got to see yourself differently. If you want a different life, you've got to see yourself differently. Everything depends on you. Everything in your life depends upon you. You change, you get whatever you change into. All right, everybody. Remember, send me your address if you would really like your prize, and I will see you all tomorrow. We'll be talking about money. All right, love you guys.